Bro, why is it that I give a fuck about everything? I don't think that's a good way of living life. Like, I'm always thinking about things. I'm always thinking about, and I shouldn't. I'm always thinking about what people think about me, like what their first impression of me is gonna be, even if they're just like complete strangers that I'm not gonna ever see in my life again. Or like, I'm always thinking if I'm walking in a good way, or like in a not stupid way, you know? And I just want to stop thinking about everything. And it sounds really easy just by saying it, but when you're in the moment, it's really, really hard. Like, I think the best example of this is, say you're like at a bar with your friends. You see a girl you like, and you immediately start thinking about what should you say, or how should you approach, if she's even gonna be interested in you. And then as soon as you start thinking all this bullshit, like, your mind just ironically shuts down, and you immediately stop thinking about like doing it, which is the important part, just doing shit without thinking about the consequences or the outcome. And that sounds a little bit like, it sounds bad, like not doing things without caring about the consequences. I'm obviously talking about like the little things. Obviously, if you have like a big decision you have to make, you definitely have to think about it. But just the day-to-day things, the day-to-day interactions with people, like at work or when you go out, even with your family or whatever, you just need to like lay back, take a deep breath, and just start living. This is something that I've struggled for a long time, and it's gotten better in the past year, but because I've been conscious about it. For my whole life, it was just like something my mind deemed as normal, or like that was like my personality. That was like how I was gonna be for the rest of my life. But then I noticed that most people are not like that, and it's kind of funny. But you know, it's never too late to like make a conscious change, and it's been getting better. And just being in your mind is really bad in general, because I don't normally suffer from like anxiety and stuff. I know a lot of people are anxious pretty much every day of their lives. I don't, but I do have like some moments where I'm too much in my mind, and I'm thinking about every single detail about everything, and it's really shitty. It's miserable at times. So, and like talking about it right now feels really normal. Like when I say it in my mind, I'm like, yeah, you could easily do that. But when you're in like a situation when you have to do that, it's really hard. It's a whole different thing. But we just gotta stop thinking about everything and just start living and doing shit, and yeah, and like actually not giving a fuck about what happens or what people think about you when you do things, and just start doing things for yourself and start doing the things you actually enjoy without being apologetic about it. I don't know if that's the correct word, but whatever. And it's normally it's in these things that you don't want to do, that's where like the growth is, and where you actually learn things, and when you actually feel like you're advancing in life. When you're doing the same shit every day in your comfort zone, when you don't challenge yourself in any way, life becomes pretty dull and pretty boring, and it's the same shit every fucking day. And I don't think that's how life's supposed to be lived, man. You have to, like, every day has to feel like a different episode of your TV series or whatever. Even though it's kind of ironic to say that when I personally have a 9-to-5 job, but you can still find something different in every day. Every day you wake up and you can, like, routines and doing the same thing every day is good. Like, if you're hitting the gym, you have to do basically the same thing every day. But within that, like, routine, you can change things up and make it exciting. And speaking about the gym, that's a thing that happens to me sometimes. Like, I get, like, blocks of my training where I do the same thing, and it starts to get boring, and then my discipline takes a hit because of that. Because I don't know, I'm getting used to my training. It's not exciting me anymore. I'm not challenging myself enough, and that's where my discipline and my motivation is like, oh, fuck this, I don't want to keep doing it. But when I change things up, like when I change, like, my focus on my workouts, or if I implement like a new lift or whatever, all of a sudden my discipline and my motivation goes up. So there's something to just getting out of your head and just doing shit and getting out of your comfort zone. Even that's like the most cliche thing people say, like getting out of your comfort zone is something you have to strive for every day. But it's, people are right, man. And with most cliche things that people say, they're normally right. That's why they're cliches, because that's a thing that people say continuously, and they say continuously because there's truth to that. But yeah, it's kind of funny how the mind works. Yeah, I think that's it. I try to make these videos in English because I really want to reach like a more like a broader audience, and I feel like making them in Spanish I'm just limiting myself. So I'm gonna do English and Spanish. Let's see what happens. Talk to you guys later. Take care.